Welcome to Real Talk this beautiful Saturday here on Westnile TV. We do this every Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. We come on your screen. I bet you're having a very, very lovely evening wherever you are. While here in Arab, people already at Capitol Lounge. I know there's a lot going on. The club, DJ Sept, and a lot of that. People are partying. People are in the mood of whatever they're in. But I hope you still pick your phone or sit glued onto the screen of your TV to catch this beautiful show that comes your way every Saturdays from 8 to 10 here on Westnile TV. Don't forget, we are on Star Times and on Zuku. We also stream live on our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel. All you have to do is go to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and leave a comment on whatever topic of discussion that we have today. And today we have a very interesting topic that most people don't want to touch on, but people think it only affects women. But I want to bring to your attention, this is something that concerns both girls and boys, men and women, the community, the society, and now we shall get to know it also affects the country and international communities as well. And today we are tackling the topic of contraception. I know a lot of people think it's a taboo to talk about it, but it's a reality, and someone says it people's right to have access this contraception wherever they can get. That is why they're there in our various health centers, private clinics, and what have you. What sparked this discussion is the recent move by the government to have 15-year-old girls have access to contraception, and it has been met with mixed reaction. People have a lot to say about it. Some are saying that's a smart move, other people are saying no, we don't like what the government is doing. But it all depends on how you understand the whole thing, whether it's a good move or not. We shall get to know. But one fact we cannot deny is girls have been using these contraceptions. I can say girls less than 14 years, 13, because these days it's a thing that people are on to. A lot of young people getting engaged into sexual activities, and some of those girls, that is why, as we try to fight teenage pregnancies in our community, we're seeing that a lot of girls are engaging into these sexual activities. And that, by the way, the government took that step because they see that it's going to reduce the rate of teenage pregnancy among young people. So I don't know what they're going to do to convince people to accept this move, but anyway, we're also going to have a discussion on that. But before we go into that, we want to make sure people understand what contraception is. We're going to go deep into what contraception is, the methods that are available, the advantages and disadvantages that come with it, if they're there, and so you can be able to tell whether to use it or not. And also you'll be able to see which type of contraception or family planning to use. In the studio here today we have a guest. We have a very beautiful midwife who is joining us to do this discussion together, to help us understand this topic of discussion. She's here in the studio. Let's give her this chance to say hi to our viewer. You're most welcome to the studio of Westnile TV.
Thank you so much, Lillian. I'm so grateful to be here, and I really feel so humbled by the invite to come and tackle, especially on this topic, because it creates a very big impact on our community when certain things are talked about and the truth is left known to the people.
Okay, thank you so much, Charlotte. Your name?
Oh, I'm called Charlotte, and I am a midwife.
Okay, before inviting her here, I've heard a lot about her. She's a midwife, and I've had friends who say, oh my God, that midwife, Charlotte. And finally, I'm honored to have you here on this show. We shall have a beautiful discussion. I can already tell. If you're still not yet there, please share your thoughts on this topic of today by going on our YouTube channel, and you share exactly what you think, and we value that a lot. So Charlotte, diving into the topic, what is your understanding of contraception, or what people want to say family planning? What comes into your mind? I know you're in that field, but as we want to see an ordinary person, what basically comes into their mind?
Well, thank you. To begin with, contraception or contraceptives come in when we talk about family planning. So to begin with, family planning is just a decision, a conscious decision. You don't have to make a decision when you're not in your conscious state. So it's a conscious decision taken by either an individual or a couple on when to have children, how to space them, how many to have, and when to stop having them. So that is what we mean by family planning. You're trying to plan for a family that you're building. And then when you look at contraception, a contraceptive is a device or a drug that is taken or administered to prevent pregnancy. There is a brief definition of contraceptives.
Okay, she has clearly stated the difference between our family planning and contraceptives. You know, most people who are married go for family planning because you want to space your children, you want to know when you want to have kids, or maybe you stopped having kids and you want to, you know, stop having kids and something like that. But when it comes to contraceptives, these are, like she said, methods that are used to, you know, prevent pregnancy. And there are various methods. Someone says there are these methods that are hormonal, those that are barrier methods, non-hormonal, and those permanent methods. So let's dive into understanding these contraceptive methods one by one, looking at the advantages and also the other side. Let's talk about the side effects of these methods.
Okay, thank you so much. Looking at the methods, there are really very many of them, and they are categorized into the natural and the artificial. That is what we call the hormonal ones. So looking at the artificial ones also, there is a category of the short-term family planning methods and then the long-term family planning methods. For example, we have the short terms. We have those injectables that cater for 3 months. You get the injection and it's able to take you through the next 3 months that you're safe from conception. Then we have the pills that are taken daily. You don't have to forget to take them, of course. If you do, that will mean you're going to get pregnant. So the pills, you take them daily. They become a part of you. And you have to maintain the time at which you take the pills. If you take it every day at 10 a.m., let's say, that should flow. The flow should continue. And then we have the condoms. That is the barrier method. It is also a very good family planning method because easily accessible. You don't need someone to prescribe for you how to use it or when you need to use it. It's readily available in drug shops and even clinics. Let's talk of the pharmacies. And then let's look at the long-term family planning methods. We have the implants. They are categorized into also two. We have that runs for 3 years, and there is one that runs for 5 years. That is called the Jadel. Then we have the IUD. Previously we had it was mainly non-hormonal, but they have introduced a new form of IUD also, which is hormone-based, because they discovered a lot of challenges with the non-hormonal one. People kept conceiving as even they have it, especially those who have heavy menstrual periods. So that counts as one of the disadvantages of the non-hormonal one. If you have a heavy flow, I wouldn't advise you to go for IUD because the flow can easily move the copper, because it is a copper inserted into the uterus through the vagina. So once it is moved, that means its effect is completely shattered. So the chances of getting pregnant is high. Yeah. And then we have the long permanent family planning methods. Yeah. That is tubal ligation for the women and then vasectomy for the men. Looking at the advantages and disadvantages, that is a broad one. But well, to start with the long-term family planning methods, the advantage is that you really do not have to worry about conceiving at any unplanned time, because the tube is tied off and there is that movement between the sperm and the eggs, let's say, it's cut off, they cannot meet completely, so to avoid the conception to happen. Then looking at the advantage, those permanent family planning methods, in case someone may think like, I want to have a baby after you've already done them, it's really not going to be possible, because once it's done, it's done. It's done. Yeah, there is no any other chance to maybe reverse it and make you have the chance to conceive again or make a woman pregnant. That is for the men. And when we look at the implant-ons, talk of the Jadel and that the implant for 3 years, one common side effects that we get with those family planning methods, it's bleeding, too much bleeding. A lot of women have complained of that when they have had it for some time. The first few months that they have had it on, the bleeding is a lot. But there is always a way, because when the bleeding is a lot, actually when we are administering these family planning methods, we always talk to these women. In case you experience something that is unfamiliar with whatever you used to experience before, okay, with whatever that you used to experience before, endeavor to come back to the facility so that a solution can be given to you. And then so whenever the bleeding occurs, we advise them to come, and those who come, they are able to get helped. They are given some drug that contains a different kind of hormone to counteract the bleeding, and your cycle goes back to normal. Well, also there is amenorrhea. Amenorrhea is, how do I explain this? Amenorrhea is simply missing of period, I should say. Most people also, when they're on these family planning methods, they're not able to get their menstrual periods as usual. Mm-hmm. And then others, there is that painful menstrual period, because that is especially in those who miss their period, because they miss for some months and in the next month they are seeing it. So that accumulation causes a lot of pain, and the contractions to push out the blood becomes a lot for them, giving them that so much pain. Yeah, basically that.
Okay, I love how you've tackled each method, and now I believe a viewer out there is able to tell, maybe I want to go for family planning and I want to go for this type of family planning. But we've been receiving complaints. We see people complain about these types of family planning. You know, someone says, my periods, the patterns have completely changed, and then someone says, I have gained weight and all that. So that has made a lot of people run away from these family planning methods. How have you worked around to see that people get to accept these methods and not see them as they see them right now?
Well, thank you. Actually, I didn't go deep into the advantages and disadvantages of all these family planning methods, because they are really a lot. You mentioned the weight gain. There is also weight loss in that. There are people who lose weight as they are on this family planning method, and there are those who gain a lot. So our bodies are different. No?
But before that, do you consider, is there something you consider before administering someone a particular kind of family method, or you just go by their choices?
We go by their choices, because when you come tell us you need a family planning method, we take you through all the methods, and then we give you room to think and decide which one you want. Yeah. And advise you accordingly on whether you have those adverse side effects. Let's talk of the bleeding, maybe lack of menstruations. We advise you accordingly on what to do when such happens.
Okay, so what do you tell someone who has maybe experienced adverse side effects like weight gain, change in period patterns, and so on and so on, because such a person may decide to just leave these methods like forever?
Exactly, that's what we actually advise them on. When a method is not responding well to your body the way you expect it, it's giving you something that is maybe being a threat to your health. Because weight gain is associated with maybe, let's say, high blood pressure. So that is another risk for a person. We advise you on trying a different method.
Okay.
Because there is the country we are in, there is no way we can determine how this method is going to, how this person is going to receive the method, how the body is going to react to the method. So it's trial and error. basically that, yeah. When it is giving you some adverse side effects, it definitely has to be stopped and another method administered unto you.
No, there's a lot that people say about one of the most common methods that is used, that is the condom. I don't know why people don't like using the female condoms, but that is, we'll get into that discussion. You know, there are a lot of misconceptions around condoms. When it comes to condoms, the young people, they have a lot to say. Some people say, you know, when you have sex with condom, it's like this, it's like that. Some people say it causes bruises. Others say it's uncomfortable, and a lot of that. But these are also the same people who, let's say these are young men who cannot even afford to buy pills for their girls to take. So we see in the due course that most girls get to conceive because maybe the boys don't want to use the condoms. So and the cheapest and quickest method that they can use is the condom. So how can you advise the young people to embrace using condoms?
Okay, well, you know, sex is supposed to be a pleasure. Yeah, so something that you do for pleasure, you don't have to use a lot of energy and all that and all that. I'm talking about roughness. Oh my God. So probably the point that people are having the intercourse, maybe there is that roughness that causes the bruising and all that. And also sometimes people do not know the actual size of what is perfect for them. I mean the male, because those condoms come in sizes. So when you go for something that is small, definitely expect those bruises and all that. And then also to be careful on the market. There are some condoms that, all these condoms are supposed to have those lubricants. But of course, you know, being a business, some people are into business, so some manufacturers come up with condoms that are not well lubricated, you get. So that is why those kind of complaints come in. But having the right size for yourself is a perfect thing to do, and I don't think there will be complaint.
Okay, so the question is, how many young people out there consider the sizes of condoms before they buy them? And did you know that these condoms come in different sizes? So tell us what you think on this particular topic that we're having today on contraceptives, and we'll have your comments right here. Don't forget, we're on Star Times and on Zuku. This is The Real Talk with me, Ayot Lillian, every Saturdays. Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, we shall still continue the discussion on contraception, family planning, and what you think about this. Don't go away, stay with us.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
is our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it.
What a finish to Master Fukume!
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL. Our league, go for it.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome from that short break that we've had here on The Real Talk. This is The Real Talk with me, Ayot, Lillian, and this is Westnile TV, lighting up the region. Every Saturdays from 8 to 10, we are on your screen discussing topics of interest here, various topics, of course, and we also value what you think. That's why we stream live on our YouTube channel, where you can let us know what you think about our topic of discussion. Don't forget, we're also on Zuku and on Star Times. We're talking about contraception, whether it's our topic of today is moved by the fact that the government is allowing girls of 15 to access contraception, and it has been received with mixed feelings. We understand, so let us know exactly what you think about that. But before that, we are discussing the different types of contraception, family planning, and which is best for who and when to use them, or why you should use them. We have discussed a number of these methods here with our guest in the studio. She's called Charlotte. She is a midwife by profession, and she is deeply explaining to us what these methods mean, how they're used, and when you can use these methods. So you caught us on the discussion where we're still talking about condoms. You know, mostly young people not wanting to use condoms because they think when you have sex with condom, it doesn't just feel right or anything like that. You know, someone says it feels like masturbation, but how best can we change that mentality from these people? Because it is the readily available type of contraception that is available, apart from, of course, the natural method of family planning. So Charlotte, also talking about the contraception, we see the contraceptive pills that is widely used by young girls. You know, it doesn't matter the age. These things are available in clinics, in pharmacies, and much as some girls know about it, most girls still don't know about it, of course, the rural girls, but it's getting there. So there is a concern about the use of these contraceptive pills. You know, girls taking these things like on a daily basis, these emergency pills someone takes, the morning after morning pills, they're taking them. We want to understand, are there some side effects that come with the use of these emergency pills or contraceptive pills? And if there is, after how long should someone use? For example, if I've taken an emergency pill today, after how long should I take another emergency pill?
Well, thank you so much, Lillian. Given the fact that all these contraceptives hormonal based, definitely overuse of them has a long-term effect, especially on the girl child. Let's talk about the emergency pills. Emergency pill is something that is supposed to be used for emergencies, not something that you use on a daily.
What if the emergency is daily?
No, there can't be a daily emergency. No, that is impossible. So it's just something for emergency, because overuse of those things can result into secondary infertility. That means by the time you will need to conceive, it's going to be a very hard thing to do because your hormones are already suppressed by the hormone that was introduced into your body by the pills. That is the major side effect I can talk about pills. So at least in a year, it shouldn't exceed 3 times to use emergency pills for a girl to be on the safer side.
Okay. All right. I must say, of someone who uses like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pills in a month.
It's not a prescription, so it's something that is supposed to be used for emergency. So there is no point in taking it every day. If you feel your sexual urge is cannot be controlled, let's say, and you can't invest into condoms, it's better off going for the long-term family planning methods than having these pills taken every day and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Emergency pills, as it is, it's supposed to be taken in terms of emergency. So if your emergencies are like every day, you have to go for other methods. Like she says, the long-time family planning method. What's that? The injectable or
the long-term
implant?
The implant and the IUD, they are the long-term family planning methods. Then the short-terms are the injectables and the daily pills that is meant to be taken daily, not the emergency ones. Yeah.
So the contraceptive pill that is taken every day is called the pill. The one that is taken daily. So that one doesn't have the side effects.
Well, I will not say that it doesn't have, but it is meant to be taken every day for a period of a month, then you refill.
Okay.
Yeah, that means the level of the hormones in it is not like the one that is used for the emergencies. You get, because that you take it, you've had an intercourse and you feel like you can get pregnant, you take it for the emergency. Meanwhile, this, you're taking it as a family planning method.
Okay.
The daily pills.
The daily pills.
And let's not forget that these emergency pills do not work when you're ovulating. Because they're supposed to...
Does that... We've had incidences, cases where girls complain,
I have taken
an emergency pill,
but I'm pregnant. Exactly. They are supposed to work to prevent the ovulation from happening. So when you take it when you're already ovulating, it's like, no, you're wasting time.
So how does it work? What is ovulation? Let's start there.
My goodness.
Okay, we know it's that period when a girl is fertile.
Yeah, exactly. That is ovulation. Very fertile.
Wow. So it's that sharp that even the contraceptives, the emergency pill
they can't work
doesn't
on them.
work.
The pills are supposed to prevent them from happening. Yeah? So when you take it, when the ovulation is already in process or has already taken place, it's not going to work.
So there you have it, girls and also boys. Your girlfriends have been trying to explain to you, I've taken the pill but I'm pregnant. So now you understand why you conceive after even taking, an emergency pill. But we see different types of emergency pills on the market. Do they work differently? Are some more effective than others?
Well, the drug manufacturers, okay, people are into business, so the other one will also come with their own type. Just like we have different type of, let's say, mineral water brands. There is Renzori, there is Nirvana, so it's the same with the pills. Okay. Different manufacturers bring in different brands of the emergency pills, but they all work the same, so long as you take it at the right time. Yeah, because also
12 hours, 20?
You are supposed to take it within 72 hours of unprotected sexual intercourse. That is the emergency pills. After that,
okay.
Yeah.
Because there are also those of 24 hours. Okay. Okay, but
No,
that is
they
that.
work
It depends.
within the period of 72 hours.
72
Those are 3
hours.
days, yeah.
Okay. Also, we want to know, does this contraceptive, do these emergency pills maybe stop pregnancy after you have conceived? Because most people, after realizing that they have babies, they still go ahead to take these pills, hoping maybe somehow the baby just disappears. How
No,
does
they
it work?
can't. They can't. They don't do that. That is like actually abortion, but the emergency pills won't let the baby disappear.
Okay.
Once you've conceived, you've
You've
conceived.
conceived.
Yes.
Yeah, that is why we are having this discussion, so that you get to clear these misconceptions, this misinformation surrounding family planning methods. You know, one person uses another type of family planning method and then comes to you. You know, this did not work for me. I feel it caused me to do this and that. Like she says, people's bodies respond differently. So what works for you may not work for me. So it's upon you to choose what kind of family planning method to use and all that. Let's come down to this natural method that most people ignore. Okay, some people use it, but it's not very effective. I don't know what affects it. That is the safe days. How does the safe day work? And you know, the body temperature monitoring, something like something.
Okay. So the natural family planning methods, we have the safe days, and then there is also abstinence. That is also a natural family planning method.
Okay.
And then we have withdrawal. Yeah, it's natural. And what else? Moon beads. Yeah, moon beads. So let's talk about the safe days. To use it perfectly, you really need to know your circle, menstrual circle, so much. Okay, very well, that you know, I have this number of days circle, so on this day I have my period, and then on this day I'm ovulating. That means on the days that you're ovulating, you have to avoid unprotected sex. Yeah, that is how it works out.
How
basically.
do you know you are ovulating?
How you know you're ovulating? When you're ovulating, your body temperature changes. It's not like the usual. You become a little hot, more hotter than, like your temperature is higher than the usual one. And then also the vaginal fluids, they tend to be a lot. Clear mucoid fluid that comes out is a lot. That is a sign of ovulation. There is that increase in that fluid, and then you cramp. Yeah, most people get crampings, a little bit of it when they're ovulating. Yeah, but the temperature and the vaginal discharge can guide you best.
Okay, so there you have it, ladies. All you have to do is pay attention to your body, you know, when you're ovulating. And she's just talked about the signs of ovulation, where your temperature rises a little bit, your vaginal fluid changes, and you know how it changes.
And yeah, I forgot to talk about this. During ovulation, most people also like there is, how do I put this?
Just put it
The
in
sexual
sentence.
desire becomes more than the usual one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how you get to know when you're feeling more hotter than the usual, and you want to have sex. Like maybe you know how your body reacts when it's normal, and when it also gets to that extent. So it's important. I'm surprised some guys calculate safe days more than us girls. Some guys even know their girlfriend's safe days without the girl knowing, you know. Knowing her own safe days. But that is a good mode as a boyfriend. If you know your girlfriend's safe days, then it helps you prevent pregnancy, and that means you are a very, very supportive boyfriend. And very responsible. So we're advocating for more boyfriends like that. And if you feel you cannot work best with a natural type, that one in particular, you can also withdraw. Like, why not? If you don't want to use a condom, then you need to explore some of these things. Instead of putting, a lot of girls get to take these emergency pills, not because they want, but because their boyfriends don't want to use protection. So be a good boyfriend and use protection to save your girl from all the trouble and all that. As the discussion is also getting interesting, would like to know what you think about this particular topic. Would you go with the natural methods, or you prefer your girlfriend uses the other methods? And one of the frequent questions that people have been asking is that why are these family planning methods or contraception methods designed specifically for women and not men? Why is it only targeting women?
Wow. How do I say this? Okay. For the men, it's true. Like mostly, it is. We have the condom for the men, and then we have the permanent one, that is the vasectomy. So you know the burden is all on women, like carrying the child and all that and all that. So we're trying to look at the women's health more, because giving birth every year, let me say, unplanned children, first of all, your health is deteriorating, because the uterus also gets, let me say, tired, and that puts you at so much risks, a lot of risk that comes with that. So I think it's better off protecting the women and looking out for them. It's basically just like that. They're looking out for the women,
Okay.
thinking about their health as far as childbirth is concerned.
Well, that is very interesting. Whoever asked that question, I hope you have gotten your answer. And if you still not gotten your answer, you can also let us know what you think. Discussing use of contraceptives is a very big thing. I know it's something that is supposed to get to every woman out there, not only women. But when they're talking about contraceptives, I don't know why they always have women. Is it important? Want to know the role men play in all this, because you can talk to a woman, maybe she can want to have this kind of contraceptive, and the man does not agree, or maybe the man wants another one. What role do men play in this?
Thank you. It's not like it is only the women being involved in this. I remember in the definition of family planning, I said a conscious decision made by an individual or a couple. That means the men are also involved in the decision making. It's not the woman to come and say, especially for the marriage, because yeah, we have women who have maybe chosen to live their lives alone and maybe have children out of marriage. So they can decide, I need to get a family planning method and yeah, maybe have my children's space. Those can come on their own and have a method administered to them based on the choice they will make. Okay. But for couples, we always encourage them to come together, and they are taken through the session together. Different types is shown to them and explain to them both the advantages and disadvantages, and then they are allowed to choose as a couple, not as an individual. That means that already has put a man to take part in the decision making of what family planning they need to use as a family.
Okay, we've had cases, especially in the rural areas, where men force their women to go take out their implant and tell them to remove these things because they don't agree with them. Now, remember, when they're going for these things, men are they're not so much interested into knowing about these things. And we've had cases of men telling their wives to remove these things from their bodies. What have you done to change the mentality of people? I know when this first came, not so many people accepted it, but gradually people are, though there's still resistance. What steps have been taken to see that people fully accept these methods of family planning?
Okay, thank you. Well, sensitization has been done, and at least I can proudly say that there is a lot of changes that is taking place as far as family planning is concerned. Very many men have taken in responsibilities to see that they are involved in the lives of their women and their family at large. So there has been a change that is as a result of the sensitization, because they had the mentality that this family planning method is, others will even come and mention to you that it's a white man's way of wanting to kill their women and all that and all that. So when they are sensitized, most of them get to understand. But you know, the people in the village, the African traditional way, they believe having many children is a success. So that's why that case of the village men beating up their wives because they have had family planning method comes in, because they need more children than a few that they have, since it is already believed that children is a form of wealth to them. That's why those scenarios are there. But the sensitization that has been done to them, and also different family planning methods that have been given to them, then that part of making them choose, you don't have to tell her, I am giving you this family planning method. You make them choose, okay? So it clears up the mentality that maybe there is something in that method you're providing for them that is going to do something negative to their lives. Yeah.
Okay, and that is very interesting. We've talked about the different types of family planning, the methods that you can use, you can choose. So let's generalize this. Why should someone use family planning method? Because some people still don't see a reason why they should use, these methods.
Thank you so much. It's actually very important to use family planning method, because you need to have the number of children that you're able to take care of. You cannot have 20 children when your capacity is you can only, okay, your income can only manage to take care of 2 children. That's why family planning is important. And also education. You need these children to go back to school. How are you going to educate a lot of children with a small income? So basically it helps you to plan well for the children that you have or yet to have. You don't go beyond, or you don't give them the necessity that they need. Talk of education, health, and all that and all that. Yeah.
Okay, I believe the use of family planning, the move by the government and the different partners to encourage people to go for these family planning methods, to go and they avail these services in the different health centers so that people accept these services. Has it achieved its objective?
Yeah, to some percentage it has, because there have been people coming for the services and accessing it. That means a greater percentage of it has been achieved. And also women are getting to understand that they really need it for their health, because the risks of frequent childbirth is discussed to you, and the family planning methods are introduced to you. You get to choose what you want. Yeah, a lot of them have been coming, and yeah, there is a great achievement on that. And
there's a great, okay. People are beginning to understand why they need to use these methods, spacing their children. It's giving them space to plan for the next and next and next, to take out the burden and all that. So if this has helped a lot of people, and if you've been one person who has been using these methods, you can also let us know your experience with these different methods, or if you know someone who has been using these methods, you also let us know. Coming back to Charlotte, are these methods free or they are at a cost? Let's talk about them at the government facilities and also at the private facilities. How much do they cost? Is it something that a person at a grassroots level in the village can afford?
Well, the family planning methods in the government facilities, they are completely free. You don't need to pay anything to have a family planning method administered to you. And also in the private sectors, they are very affordable. I am not going to mention the prices because different facilities charge according to their level. But at least, because also the National Drug Authority ensures that the clients are not overcharged. So there is a range that they give for pricing some of those things that the greater population can afford. Yeah, so they're affordable in the public facilities. I mean the private facilities. Meanwhile, in the public facilities, they are free.
Okay, we see that this topic, this debate of family planning method has been ongoing for long. I mean, it wasn't just received well by some denominations. I don't want to mention here, but they had an objection because they say it's promoting immorality. It's going to encourage more people to get into these sexual activities and all that. So these people, and also in some communities, people are not allowed to freely talk about, family planning, and someone says I have an implant and they look at you like you're the worst sin on earth. So how have you, apart from the sensitization, how have you changed people's perception about this, and how has some of the religious sects finally gotten to accept the use of some of these contraceptives?
Just like a nation that has their own rules that they rule on, it's the same with the religions. So another religion might have a different belief on the family planning things and all that, and also it can be a different case with the other religion. So changing someone's mind from that is quite hard to do it as a religion, but we do it on individual levels. Like you come to me, we talk to you about it, you might understand, because let's say in a community, not everyone will have the same perspective of something. So much as in a particular religion, they don't encourage the use of some of those family planning in general, those contraceptives. There can be other people, maybe the learned ones, who will understand why that is there. But of course, we cannot change the whole religious belief on that completely. Yeah.
Okay, our topic of discussion today is on contraceptives. We've deeply explained what contraceptives are and also looked at the different types of contraception that are available and how you can use them and what methods can fit you best, basing on whatever explanation that our midwife Charlotte here has given. And people need to use these methods because you want to space your children, maybe you want to pursue your career, and at some point you don't want to have children. Using these family methods would be one of the best ways, and how you can use them, because a lot of people tend to misuse some of these methods. Let's talk about the pills, the emergency pills that girls have almost like every day. So from what our midwife here has said, emergency pills are not supposed to be taken on a daily, unless there are these contraceptive pills that you use on a daily, on monthly basis, and then you get to refill. But let's be clear, the emergency pill is not something you can take on a daily. It's something you can take like 3 times a year. I'm hoping all the young men out there listening keenly, because you subject your girlfriends to a lot of these things simply because you don't want to use condoms or you don't want to withdraw. But there's so many other methods that you can explore. Let us know what you think and which method works best for you by going on our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and leave your comment there. We'll read them shortly after this short break. When we come back, we shall discuss the government's move to allow 15-year-old girls access family planning methods. Don't go away. This is The Real Talk with me, Ayot Lillian.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
your center move.
It's our league, our football, our boys, our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it.
What a finish for Master Fukume.
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL, our league, go for it.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
our football, our boys, our style. Star Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it!
What a finish from Kukume!
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL. Our league, go for it.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
You're most welcome from that short break. This is The Real Talk with me, Ayot, Lillian, every Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. And this is Westnile TV. We are on Star Times and on Zuku. You can also stream us live on our Facebook and our YouTube channels, where you can let us know what you think about our topic of discussion. And today specifically we are talking about the use of contraceptives. A lot of people have had different things to say about this. There have been misconceptions regarding contraceptives and family planning in our different communities. A lot of effort has been put into seeing that people get to accept to use these methods for their own good, but still we also have a lot of challenges that is associated with this. But before that, we talked about the different types of contraceptives that you can use, or family planning, birth control that you can use, and how you can use them, which one works best for you, and that you can go for depending on the advice that you receive from your health provider. These services are available at the different government facilities, your health centers, where you access them for free, unless you want to go to a private facility where you access them at a cost. We realize that these things have worked. Oppositions have come from the religious sect, and we see that slowly some are getting to accept these contraceptives, and we see a lot of partners are working to see that people have access to this. And now you know that it's your right to access the services. We also acknowledge the fact that some of these methods are being abused by the young people, especially young girls abusing the use of emergency contraceptive pills, and also boys not wanting to use condom is becoming a problem. But these methods are there so that it also helps you as an individual plan better for your life. In the studio here we have Miss Charlotte, who is a midwife, a very renowned midwife here in Arua and beyond, I believe, because I heard about her before her coming to the studio here. So thank you for all the good work that you have been doing. And I would like to ask you, if someone had an implant and then experiences some of the side effects, like we talked about hormonal imbalance, so how do you help such a person? Are these cases treatable? If they are, do you also offer these services at a fee, considering the fact that maybe they went to a government hospital to receive these services at no cost?
Well, we didn't talk about hormonal imbalance as one of the side effects of the family planning method.
Okay. I'll clarify that.
Yeah, hormonal imbalance can come in right from birth. You can be born with a lesser hormone that is needed for conception.
Okay.
Yeah, but that can be corrected. Yeah, because we have doctors, gynecologists in those government facilities. Definitely, if you go to the government facilities, you will be helped at no cost. Except maybe when the drugs needed are not in the facility, and then you'll be directed to buy them from somewhere else.
Okay. Okay, and someone specifically argues that the use of contraceptive has led to increase in the rate of HIV infection among people, because at some point the rate reduced. That's when people were, using condoms and saying maybe abstaining from sex. But now people know that you can have sex and not conceive. When you have sex, you can just take pills to avoid pregnancy. So people tend to ignore the use of condoms and abstaining from sex. How true is that?
It's actually very true, because once you are exposed to sexual intercourse and you do not have the fear of getting pregnant in you, definitely, because maybe you're on some kind of a contraceptive, so you would not think of the status of the person you're getting involved with. That is actually very common among the youths. All they think about is, am I safe from pregnancy? So they don't think about the other negative things associated with unprotected sexual intercourse, like the HIV. So it's on the rise because no one is bothered about it. They're only bothered about pregnancy. So once I have gotten the contraceptive to prevent me from getting pregnant, that means they are going out with anyone. You get? So you're exposed to HIV.
Okay, does the use of contraceptive, does any method stop HIV, one from getting HIV?
Condoms.
Condoms.
Yes.
Okay, we've had cases where people also use condoms and they still get infected, or maybe they're not using it the right way.
No. The only way you can use condom and get infected is when the condom breaks in the process of you having the intercourse. But if there is no leakage or breakage somewhere, you are 100% protected from HIV or any other STDs.
Okay, so now going into the heart of the matter, let's have your broader thought on the recent move by the government of Uganda to have 15-year-old girls have access to contraceptive. This means a girl can walk into any health facility to say, I want to get an implant, I want to get an injection, I want to have pills and all that. And this has been received by mixed reaction. I mean, from parents who say they don't like the idea because it's just going to promote immorality among the young people, and some people see it the way the government sees it, that it's going to lead to a reduction in the number of teenage pregnancies among young girls, because there have been so many interventions to see that we fight that vice of young girls getting pregnant. And the question is, but why would these young girls get engaged into sexual activities at that tender age? Because we see in this generation, like, it's worse. Even girls less than 15, young girls and young boys less than 15 years old indulging into sexual activity. But there's no way we're going to stop all of them. So that government thought that would be one of the best ways to help reduce teenage pregnancy among the young girls who are actively involved into sex. So turning to Charlotte, what is your thought on that?
Well, I think I really do have a mixed feeling on that. Somehow I feel it's going to help a lot, because in the past years there has been a lot of teenage pregnancies going on around. And then on the other things, looking at the disadvantages of these contraceptives, especially for a young girl who has not had any child, or has not had any pregnancy, it again make it a very hard thing to accept, to be in place. So on my personal ground, I would think it's really not the best decision, though it would help in so many ways, like in preventing teenage pregnancy, given the risk which outweighs the benefits for the young girls.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's talk about those risks. Let's go deep into how this is going to help the young girls reduce teenage pregnancy, and how it's not going to be a very good move for them. How is it going to be a risk for them?
The those contraceptives have their side effects. Number one, knowing that they have been legalized from having these things freely, there will be a high rate of immorality, let's say sexual intercourse and all that, because of excitement and maybe the age they're in. Let's talk of the adolescent age. So that excitement will be there, very well knowing that they're already protected. Okay? So it will expose them to a lot of different kind of sexual activities, which is really not good for a girl of that age who is maybe still school going and all that. Secondly, once they are already getting involved into these sexual activities, we can be sure that they are not doing this with one sexual partner. They can be having multiple sexual partners because of the excitement that, okay, even if I do this, I am not going to be pregnant. But of course, multiple sexual partners and also early engagement into sexual activities. This is like a go to them. Telling a girl of 15 years old to go for a contraceptive is like, okay, go and have sex without control, without your parent bothering or whatsoever. So it will become a normal thing for them. Early sex exposes you to a lot of things. Early sex and also multiple sexual partners. Cervical cancer is one risk of that. Because you do not know whatever the other man is carrying, and again you're going to the other one, they are all imposing it into you. You get. So you'll be at a high risk of getting the cervical cancer. Let's talk of HIV will be on the rise, because I earlier on said the main thing being looked at here is the pregnancy bit. Others are not being talked of. Let's talk of the STDs, HIV, and those other PID, the pelvic inflammatory infections that come along with the sexual activities. So that exposure will really make it hard for the parents to handle that, because the cost of treating these infections is quite higher than the cost of having someone deliver a child and you take care of the child.
I wish someone out there understands that the way she has just put it, I don't want to dilute whatever she has said, but that is it. The government has taken a deliberate move to see that young girls of 15, from 15 and above, have access to these family planning method, these contraceptive methods that are available. And I want to understand from you, are there some specific methods that can be used by these girls? Because I don't think all the methods are suitable for them, and if they are, you let us know if all these methods are suitable for these girls.
Because by the time the government is coming up with such policies, it is what is already on ground that is going to be used, because these are the family planning methods that have always been there, and it is expected that they are the same that are going to be administered to this girl, not thinking of the effects that it will have on the long-term effects that it will have on them or on their lives or education or whatsoever. So basically, there is no specific. I think it would just be like the way we do it for the couples. You come, they educate you on all the methods available, and then whatever you choose is given to you. There is no specific.
Do they require some specific age? I mean, the methods, all the methods.
No, any reproductive age can get a family planning method, so long as you have a family that you're running. So,
okay. Yeah. So if it does not require any kind of age limit and all that, so we may be right to say that the government is also right to allow these girls, use these contraceptives, because none of the contraceptives says someone of this age, someone can start it from this age and all that, but still people have their thoughts, and parents have a say in all this, because they feel their daughters are just going to get spoiled. But let us not deny the fact that these young girls have been actively involved in sex and all that. So as parents, please, then if you don't want your girls to get into using these methods, you should be able to talk to the girl child to see that they don't go to that extent that they have to use these methods. You know, there was an incident where a girl had this implant. She was, I think, 14, 15, that was some years ago. A colleague encountered that, and when people got to realize that this girl had this implant, I mean, people started talking, like she felt like she had committed a big crime, that this is a girl who knew she was sexually active, and so to her that was the right move, but it was not well received by the community. So that is the kind of situation that we have in the community. What steps do you think the government should do to ensure that people, what justification can the government give the people to see that they embrace this move?
Just like different people take up things in different ways. So I might come to terms with it and you might not come to terms with it. When you give a thought on it, or you try to look at where the advantages over the disadvantages. So personally, I would think the best thing to be done to these girls is the upbringing, because they always say charity begins from home. Yes. So if your upbringing has not been right, that is how you end up in those kind of things. But rather than going to have a family planning method at that age, because I'm sure by the time you're 15, someone is not thinking of marrying maybe in the next 2 years or the next 3 years. Definitely you might be thinking of reaching 20s and then you get married and maybe start having your own kids. So when you start on family planning at this age of 15, by the time you will think of having your own children, secondary infertility would have come in, and that will affect your marriage in a different kind of way, because the man, you may not marry the man you've been actively involved with sexually while you had your family planning on. Probably maybe he would have understood you at the time when now getting children become issues. So, but there are scenarios you end up with a different person and the person needs children. You've had those family planning for so many years and therefore developed a secondary infertility. That is already a very negative effect of that on your life and on the life of your family.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the government wants people to accept this, is hoping that people are going to accept this. How best do you think they should roll with this?
Well, I'm really not going to decide for everyone, but I would just say what I think. Okay. I feel like it's not the best move.
Okay.
Yeah, given the effects and the risks involved with all this, and for a kid, I would call a 15-year-old a kid who has not had any child, who has not had any pregnancy, and you introduce them to such. It's quite funny. Though the government would be right, given the high rate of teenage pregnancies. We have had kids of 13 years coming to deliver. So the whole situation is confusing, I must say.
Okay, since that is confusing, and some people are still gathering the energy, you know, the energy to take it in, to try to understand what angle the government was reasoning, whether it's a good move or not. Let's talk about alternatives. Aside from letting these girls have access to contraceptives at this age, what other alternatives can the government explore to see that we reduce teenage pregnancy other than these contraceptives?
I think the community can be greatly involved in this to play a greater role in the lives of this girl child, trying to talk to them on the risks of those early sex and all that and all that. By that we can try to bring an end to that. And in cases where it is really very pushing to the extreme, they can at least maybe advise them on condom use. We have the female and the male condom. They can provide them with that. It's better off using this hormonal contraceptives for the girls, I mean for the young girls and even the boys, I should say that. So it's better off than having those hormonal contraceptives. They would rather be advised on these condom use, because it will not only protect them from getting pregnant but also HIV.
Aside from encouraging the young people to use condoms and other alternatives, let's start from the root. How can we maybe best talk to these young girls or young boys not to indulge into sexual activities at that age?
Probably that can be done. Like I talked of the community, it starts with where you come from. Actually, your parents, most of our parents fear to talk to us about these things. It has been common. So parents should open up to their kids and tell them the real truth of life and what they will have to face in life, and talk about sexuality to them, both advantages and disadvantages, and when it is safe to do get involved in those sexual behaviors. That would really help a lot. And of course, children listen to their parents most. Okay. So, yeah.
So, as we conclude today's episode, what is that one message that you want to pass out to people out there regarding the topic that we have discussed today? What is that thing that you don't want them to miss out from today's conversation?
All right. The only thing I can say is let's all be there for this girl child, because they need us. Like, they really do need us, and we should not just leave them to themselves. Don't see someone messing up and you just look at them because maybe you don't have that attachment to them, you're not related to them, and all that. Because aside the family planning, AIDS is real. You can have the contraceptives, but you're not protected from the sexual transmitted infections. So we should be the guide to them and talk to them.
Okay, thank you so much for those last words that are very, very important, and I believe someone out there has taken point of whatever you have said, and thank you all who have stayed with us during this discussion. I hope you have learned something very important today. Contraceptives are very important, and every woman has a right to access this contraceptive depending on what type or method you are comfortable with. You should be able to choose, because it helps prevent pregnancy. Also a form of family planning method that allows you have your children or have your child at the time when you desire. And we're encouraging guys to get into the habit of using condoms, and girls should get to use less of emergency pills, like we continue to emphasize. They come in handy, but please do not misuse them. Thank you for staying with us for today's conversation, and we also want to say the government's move that has been met by mixed reaction from people. I don't know your take differs, but you can also let us know, or maybe share your opinion on the different platforms so that it gets to the authorities, because it matters. We have said, aside from allowing girls use contraceptives, we could use alternative methods, maybe like encouraging people to abstain, the young people to abstain from sex, and if it comes to a level that cannot be contained, then they can use condoms. These things come with a lot of things, so allowing them get access to these contraceptives could help fuel immorality, sexual abuse among these young people. So the government should explore alternative means of seeing that we reduce teenage pregnancy in our communities. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is it for today's episode here on Westnile TV. This is The Real Talk with me, Ayot, Lillian, and thank you so much, Charlotte, for coming today and joining us for this conversation. Thank you, our director, Ayot, and our producer, Aldo. Thank you for the show, Darwin. I see you, Ajay, and everyone else watching. Thank you. Have a beautiful evening. See you again next Saturday.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
We are the passion you've been waiting for!
Yunus Junior Santamor!
It's our league, our football, our boys, our style. Start Times UPL new season starts 15th September. Go for it!
What a finish from Kukume!
The Ugandan flair, Brazilian samba, Portuguese magic, the night football craze. More TV games live on Senyuka Prime and Fufa TV only on Star Times. The Star Times UPL, our league, go for it.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
Right now, we did the girl them go ahead and back it up. We did the girl them go ahead and love me now. We did the girl them go ahead and back it up. We did the girl them go ahead and love me now. We did the girl them. We did the girl them. We did the girl them go ahead and love me now. We did the girl them go ahead and back it up. We did the girl them go ahead and love me now. Zero malagaza dia yambaki ya DC. Isanyiro te wodugu madimi ya nyani. Kujoki na nisaya nyuma kabadera. Itandike muza dia idichiri kalike. Ensuai, Ensuai, my mommy. Ensuai, my daughter, Ensuai, my baby. Alenyi masukari, alenyi mahukoro. Alenyi masukari, alenyi mahukoro. Malamaniko, nyuru. Malamaniko, nyuru. Malamaniko, nyuru. Malamaniko, nyuru. Go you, my whole strength. Ay. Go you, my heartbeat. Hey, I see. I need to hold your hands. I need to see your smile. I need to touch your skin. I need to feel your love. I need to fly your kite. I need to be with you. I need to hear your voice. I need to be your man. I need to know your mom. I need to know what you like. I need to know your equation. Malamaniko, nyuru. Malamaniko, nyuru. Malamaniko, nyuru. Malamaniko, nyuru. Odaki mama, amesuri le makusa. Zero malagazari, no need for complication. Me tell the girl boom, 'cause you know I love you when I do my thing, and I know you love me when we do what thing. Reason why I love you, 'cause you know you got the fire, bam. Malamaniko, nyuru. Malamaniko, nyuru. Malamaniko, nyuru. Malamaniko, nyuru. Tonto baby, Tonto Empire.
Only one style. I love music.
It's deeper.
Wanga bineno ya. Mane pong bikishinga lunimite weke paria Kennedy. Kumabe mo pirin mapea tu to abio lungoya darling. Mani wa maroko beto nanga miti bet kuda pinja. Mkona zo ingome ene wa hai kudi burba sweeter. Barbe como kadi yeti na suani ea darling. We polo besa denina. See this love is rough and tough, and I love you so much, my babe. I will love you till your hair turn gray. No wonder, baby, chirokuda. Nyondu pinja, will you be mine? Mani chuba jalu pala dia. I will get in my way. Senda kama musi jadia. Kimkisa mata. You wanna tell mola mata, baby. Hananele makwe. Waya winjeli makwe kumadia. Get some time. You and I, we need to meet. Final meeting set up for us. Rumba para kudibi bere musana. Matunga ngetona wabenjo you. Sina yo mulala bambi, you're the one for me, girl. Baby kwikumido, mafuta mimele na kiti mera. Tingi konyerba, kaniweka funga tokido kuninyero. Wamperi wa mimele, tondo shit kana to kudingo. Praise me daddy, I praise you mommy. I get it down no matter. Ukumime tubeke ukiningwa. Maperi ngidi wanga chalukot. You like us from the Mars, girl.